Well, hey there. That's the first time I've spoken this morning. Hi, everybody. How are you? Usually vocal test, vocal test. Hi, thank you for all the birthday wishes. It's December 9th. I really appreciate all your lovely wishes. If they're for me, if they're not, then, happy birthday to another Sagittarius. All right, you guys, let's see what's going on. I have been looking at the Uranus return for the United States. We're going to talk more about that. I'm going to finish the December readings for everybody in the next day or two. All right, so we're going to be finishing that up, and then I'm going to look at this Uranian return and what that means for those of you who are wondering. Returns in astrology are about when the planet comes back to the place it was, the exact location, the day you were born. So some of these outer planets, we've talked about Pluto return coming back around to America. Now Uranus is coming back to Gemini next year, in the middle of next year. And I noticed this morning that Eris, Eris, which is an asteroid, feminine version of Aries, is in play. All right. So with that transit, Eris is in play, and also Venus is in play. So a lot of feminine energy around the Uranian return next year, so in the summertime. So we got plenty of time to talk about that, but I will explain it more fully today in the astrology class. If you're part of my astrology class, we're going to talk about the planets. Before I get to anything with the asteroids or the points or anything like that, I want to talk about the planets in your birth chart. What do they actually mean? What does that mean that I have, that I have my Venus in 1 degree Aquarius? What does that mean? So we're going to talk about that today. If you're new to astrology and you really want to get a good grounding, we've only started early in November this very basic class about how to understand your birth chart. So if you're interested, jump on. There's a link in the description box when this becomes a video. All right, so let's get a sense of the energy right now. Today, I have been getting a lot of divine feminine energy, especially around rage, okay? And how I feel like divine feminine energy has been unable to vent rage properly. And the idea that it's an emotion that's not allowed for divine feminine is something to look at. I feel like that's something that we need to look at as a tribe, as a divine feminine tribe, but also as, hey, that's something that was, I wasn't allowed to be angry about anything, or I wasn't allowed to show that I was upset about things, and without it being like patted down. So if that was your experience, this might be relevant to you this time period. We're having a little bit of that energy of action now, because that's a motivating energy. Mars goes retrograde tomorrow in Leo. It's going to go all the way back into Cancer. And next February, then it will go direct. So what happens when a planet goes retrograde and then it goes direct again is it runs over the same territory. So we've had Mars moving from Cancer into Leo, 6 degrees Leo, over the past few weeks and months. And what's been going on for you? Because we're going to go back over those lessons in retrograde, so internally. And Mars is about what action did I take? What action did I not take? Going from Leo back into Cancer. So how do I feel about that? And then going direct. So there may be a second chance here to take action where you might not have before. Okay, so that's just one thing. Taking shelter. It doesn't look like what's outside my window yet, but within a couple weeks, it'll probably look like this. Taking shelter. The answers are within. Narrow pathway, tread thoughtfully. That Mars energy is incendiary, and obviously it's a fire energy in a fire sign. It's going to move when it moves back into Cancer. that's going to be opposite Pluto again. We've had that energy already, where Mars and Pluto in opposition can be confrontation, can be arguments, things like that. I believe that's in the early part of January. January 3rd is a very important day for things to kind of be clear and open up and a little bit erupt. Just saying. Transformation, a fresh new way of living emerges. And oh, look at this divine feminine energy. Voyage of the heart. Love flows through you and to you. We've talked a lot about compassion. We've talked a lot about even after an argument, like if we're talking about this Mars energy erupting, there's something about now creating consensus or let's get on the same page. And I think I talked about this a few weeks ago. If you're in a relationship where you have an argument or you voice your anger or rage and then nothing ever changes, this may be a time when we have some transformation, and it can be rather loud over the next from January through to the summer. And then it feels like the summer is going to be something that we create consensus or we create some kind of new working order. All right. So just FYI on that. So personally, that can be like, okay, this isn't working for me. And every time I voice my concerns, nothing ever changes. So I'm going to have to try something else. Okay. So underneath is the 10 of Pentacles, the Ace of Swords. Oh, I like this. Empress. Check this out. 10 of Swords and the Knight of Cups. Okay, I'm taking this. The 9 of Cups coming in. So Knight of Cups and 9 of Cups. There is some kind of truth. This could be a personal thing that you might say, I just want to know the truth, right? Even to yourself, maybe not even in an argument or anything like that, but you're just like, God, I just want to know what the truth is. And we do have Mercury in retrograde right now in the sign of Sagittarius. Mercury rules Gemini, the opposite sign. So it's kind of uncomfortable in Sagittarius. Sagittarius is big picture truth. Gemini is detail-y truth. So Mercury retrograde in Sagittarius, you might be getting the big picture. Like you see the big picture, but now we're going for the detail. Okay. And vice versa. We have Jupiter ruling the ruler of Sagittarius in Gemini. So they're opposite each other. And Jupiter is about expansion in retrograde, right? It's in retrograde. And Mercury is also in retrograde. So they're in the opposite signs and they're retrograde. That's super uncomfortable energy. And that feels like the truth is out there. The truth is out there. But I can't quite grasp it. And I'm only seeing the big picture when I want the detail, or I'm only like really close up to it and not being able to see the big picture, depending on your own experience right now. So it's like, yes, I want the truth. 10 of Pentacles is some chapter is coming to a close whenever you see a 10, even like a positive one. It doesn't, but here's another 10 of Swords. So it's like something that I thought was really good may not actually have been really good. And I'm seeing the truth of that now. So I feel like there's a lot to learn about what's been happening. And there is some kind of new, because Knight of Cups and 9 of Cups is like, now it's the offer of what you really want. So I really want the truth. Like we're really focused on maybe being in our head a little bit too much or whatever. But the Empress is here. This is divine feminine energy. So that's Libra and Taurus. So we're really able to kind of anchor ourselves and look at relationships or whatever truth is coming through in a more grounded way. And it's like, now it's clearing the decks for what I really want. I could have been lying to myself too, internally about a situation and not really telling myself the truth about something. And then it's kind of like, I can't move forward because you're on faulty ground. You're on something that's not true. So how can you move forward based on a lie? You can't move forward based on a lie. So yeah, it hurts or it's uncomfortable to know the truth, but at least now I can move forward. Okay. All right. So 9 of Swords coming up here. 9 of Swords, the 6 of Wands, the Knight of, there's the Rage, Knight of Swords. Okay. So like you're getting this up in your head, you're getting the truth, and it feels good to know the truth. Now I'm mad. Okay. Knight of Swords. Now I'm mad. And it's like, how could I have been so myopic? How could I have lied to myself about this? How could I have not seen that this boss wasn't going to give me the promotion? I really wanted it. And so I was kind of like lying to myself about it. I really wanted this person to feel about me the way I think they feel about me, but they don't. And so now I'm like, oh God, I wasted time on this. Queen of Swords. Been talking about her a lot. Queen of Swords is non-emotional. Queen of Swords says, you know what? It's better. It's better. It's better to know the truth because I have now choices. If I don't know the truth, I don't have choices. So Mercury is going direct on the 15th. It's the same day as the full moon in Gemini. I feel like that 15th, I want you to circle that day on your calendar. Okay. So that's, it's 10 days away. Today's the 5th. 10 days away from now, there's going to be some choices being offered. King of Cups, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio energy. Woo! 5 of Swords. Wow. I almost feel like you get to tell someone to their face that they lied or something like that, because they're trying it again. They're trying to do it again. And you're like, just don't do that. And I just feel like this vindication here, this beautiful energy. Wow. Queen of Cups, King of Pentacles, Devil energy. Some of you may know, like we've been talking about Pluto transiting Capricorn from 2008 until just a few weeks ago, November 19th. And one of the things that I'm discovering about this Pluto transit is it's almost like what happened when Pluto was doing the transit. So for the past 15, 16 years, now is coming home to roost, because now Pluto is in Aquarius and it can make change. It's almost like it couldn't be completed until it moved out of the sign. So Pluto now in Aquarius, 0 degrees Aquarius, coming up on 1 degree Aquarius. And here's Capricorn. So if there were things that were in need of transformation, especially things that are Capricornian, which are things that keep you stuck because of the story, because of the way I've been. Okay, let me see if I can make this less convoluted. Some kind of thing that made you work really hard for it, but you weren't even getting what you want. But it was like, I'm working hard for it. So I'm doing the work. I'm doing the work. And it's sort of like, but I never really got what I wanted. It's the lie of the corporate ladder. It's the lie of hey, if you put in that time and effort, you're really going to get somewhere. And now seeing that was a total lie. And there's rage around that. Hey, if you really just play by the rules, right? Saturn energy rules Capricorn. If you play by the rules, we're going to let you have your freedom, because see, she's in a cage here. If you do it my way, Capricorn, very patriarchal, if you do it this way, this is what's going to, then we will grant you this. And it's like, wait a second, who's granting me what? Why do you get to grant me anything? Okay. So there is this sense of like the divine feminine energy here with Queen of Cups. You see, she has the third eye open. So eyes are open. And there's a sense of like, if you kind of, and it can be it doesn't have to be, and this is not about gender, really. This is about the masculine energy kind of making rules. And the feminine has said, okay, I'm playing by those rules. But then there's there's no like payoff for it. There's no truth to that. Back to the truth. There's no truth for that. There's no truth to that reality anymore. There's no truth to that, and everybody is seeing that. So I feel like the dreaming women, the dreaming the dreaming diet, whatever, the dreaming divine feminine, the dreaming divine feminine is awakening from the dream, awakening from this idea, and being up in the head about like, oh wow. Have you ever noticed? I mean, I kind of talk about the movie The Usual Suspects. I know it's kind of an old movie, but it's a good movie. If you haven't seen it, spoiler alert. Okay. At the end of the movie, Kevin Spacey is the, unbeknownst to the audience, the central character. And he is actually the maniacal, mastermind behind this whole thing. Kaiser Sose, masterful. And he plays an energy that's very weak and meek and physically impaired. That's his own version of what's weak and meek, right? And so at the end, he leaves, and the police officer, the detective, like gets it in like 1 second. Okay. And it's like he sees around his office, he chose this location. There's a locator on the wall. There's this, there's that. He's like, oh my God, that guy lied to me every single time. Every single time I ask, he is not who he appears to be. And he's like having this like epiphany. And I'm like, yeah, he played, you have the rules of the game. You thought you were winning, or you thought you were gonna like get out this guy. This guy's like, I don't know what you're talking about. Like he goes off and everything, goes down just the way he wants it to. And it's like that kind of awareness. And so we're in that moment in time when we're like, divine feminine says, hey, I've been playing by these rules for a long time, and it has not worked for me. And I'm not willing anymore to be in these rules, because it's just going to I'm just going to keep getting manipulated. So if this is happening in your work or in your life somewhere, it's sort of like a wake-up call. So there's divine feminine awakening, and there's divine masculine awakening right now to a lot of truths that they have been lied to about. And that's an incredible moment in our own personal kind of space. The answers are within. So what's a really good thing to do right now, excuse me, as we're getting toward Mercury going direct during that full moon in Gemini, is to do some meditation and ask your spirit guides, what have I been lying to myself about? What have I been lied to about? It doesn't have to be like that maniacal. It doesn't have to be like Kaiser Sose lying to that cop, right? It can be, because that was there was purposeful to it. It can be, there could be a purpose to the lie, or there could just be I'm trying to protect myself, or whatever it is. But there's definitely some truths coming out that are going to induce rage, okay, across the spectrum, divine feminine and divine masculine, that are going to induce rage. I've been seeing that message for quite a while, okay? And we're now in the Aquarian energy, Pluto and Aquarius, very little emotion around it. I mean, anger is an emotion, but this is like now a sense of taking action. So remember what I said about Mars being in retrograde? So the anger can be within. Mars gets back into Cancer. How do I feel? How am I feeling about what action I'm going to take? I'm going to do things differently this time. So it moves forward. February 23rd, Mars goes direct. Sorry, morning throat. Mars goes direct. You get a second chance here. There's a second chance about something. All right. So that's kind of awesome. This can be in a love relationship. This can be in your work, however this is resonating for you. All right. So what are the blocks that are facing this revelation? Because I feel like the truth is coming through. Okay. So what are the blocks here now? Wow. King of Pentacles again. Follow the money. It's about the money. It can be about resources of any kind. There's a scarcity mentality on this planet that we don't have enough resources. And it's kind of like, I feel like the divine masculine, divine feminine opening up to manifesting from a place of there's plenty. There's plenty for all. There's plenty for me to have the dreams in my life. There's plenty for me to be able to, and here it is. Here's the offer. Knight of Cups, Nine of Cups. So along with that exercise, that homework I've given you, okay, about what truths are, what am I being lied to about, or what am I lying about to myself? I also want you to say, well, what do I want it to be? What's the, let's move to this manifestation kind of energy. What do I really want it to be? The King of Pentacles and the Seven of Pentacles. This again, Five of Wands. I put a lot of time and effort into things in order to become a King of Pentacles, but it turns out that has been a lie. The way that the opportunities that I'm seeing through my narrow lens of what you're telling me is available to me is not possible to become the King of Pentacles. But there's a whole other bunch of opportunities that we're not paying attention to because of fear. Because of fear of, well, if I don't stay, doing it the way we've done it for the past 50 years, 80 years, whatever it's been, then I'm not gonna, I don't think I have to tell you that this idea of retirement is kind of a lie. And it's a lie because I witnessed this in my own family. It's not a lie because it can be different lies. Just saying, in my family, it was a lie because as soon as my father retired, he got ill. He had ALS. He died 4 years later. It was a terrible 4 years. They never had the retirement. Same with my brother. Same. And it's because they put so much of all of their energy into that kind of paradigm that this was part of their learning. This was part of their awareness. Interestingly, both Aquarians. Okay. Nine of Cups. So what is it that you want? And I am a big fan of, eat the cake, buy the shoes now. Go. I went to Portugal. I did part of the Camino de Santiago. I've been to London, traveling around the world and seeing places in the world, maybe Egypt, things like that I've wanted to do. That's about creating some kind of freedom in your life. There's way more opportunities than you think. And my life is absolute proof of that, going from corporate media to my own joyful space here with you guys. And was it an easy transition? No. I had to really face my biggest fear. And when I kind of was just like, you know what? You're not so scary. I can do this. That's when everything changed. It's a lot about your internal communication. What are you lying to yourself about? How are you telling yourself that you can't do what you want to do because you need to stay in a certain place? Okay. Some of you guys have been or were in my Pathfinders yesterday, and we talked about the Enneagram as it relates to the way of the yogi, and the way of the yogi about recognizing that there are certain times in your development when you're going towards something that you want, that you really have to push through the fear of it, put effort into it. And I want you to uncover what is the lie you're telling yourself, because that's a block. You can put all the effort you want into something. If it's never going to be the dream that you have, it's just the wrong path, right? It's just the wrong path. It's like, okay, yeah, that's a lie. I think I can put all my effort into this path and it's going to be my dream. However, I feel like you need to find out what the path is, instead of just holding the dream and thinking that the regular path that we've been doing things, the way we've been doing things for the past 50, 60 years, well, that's got to be the path because that's the only path I can see. And interestingly, Seven of Swords is under here, which is the lie. What's the path? What's the path that's going to get me to where I I want to go. And then sort of like reverse engineer through that path, or actually walk it forward. This is a lot about the Mars retrograde into Cancer and then back into Leo. Okay. So this is the time to really look at my end goal and then ask spirit to show you what the path is, because I feel like that's the thing that we're missing right now. And we're telling ourselves a lie that we can, you can become a millionaire by not going to Starbucks anymore. That's a ridiculous thing to say to people. So, okay. Some of you would get that, but anyway. All right. What don't we see coming here? 9 of Pentacles. It is a little bit about self-confidence, about knowing that you can do it. High Priestess, connecting to the whole year of 2024. We've been talking in Pathfinders about connecting to your intuition to find the path, to find the correct path for you. Oh my God. Ace of Swords, that truth coming through. And here's the offer. Once you figure out this path, once you get the lie, it's like a string on a sweater. Just start pulling. Once you get the truth that says, oh, wait a second, I've been slaving away in this department for this boss, and I'm never going to get where I want to go by doing this. He's never going to promote me. She's never going to give me the projects I need. Oh, wait a second. Aha. Just Saturn energy, just putting in effort is not good enough. It needs to be the effort that's on the right path. Just putting in the effort with the person who doesn't want to be in relationship with me is not going to bring me love and happiness, right? Like, it's hard to hear that truth, but then it's like, no, now I can go forward. So it really does kind of turn on this idea that the real truth, even if I'm perpetrating this myself, even if I'm telling myself a lie about this, I want to know. I want to not do that anymore. Pluto in Aquarius is very King of Swords, very unvarnished truth, and going, okay, now how do I work with this? Okay. Actions and advice. Knight of Swords. That's the anger energy. It's like you got to get mad in order to make a choice. Because otherwise you might be like, well, it's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. And you're like, actually, I need that motivating energy. Okay. So use emotion. This is something for the divine feminine. Anger is a motivating force. Use it for good, not evil, right? Use it for your propulsion into the direction of the new path. Sometimes you have to, and this was in the Way of the Yogi, sometimes you have to really push through a difficult thing. And I thought this for a long time, when I would go down a path and I would hit a roadblock, I would think, well, that's not my path. Actually, no, that's not true. A lot of times those are the paths. And it really does require you to be connected with your guides so that you can be like, okay, is this a fool's errand, or is this something that I need to push through and put more effort into? Is this something I need to go, okay, this is not the right thing? Your guides will be able to help you with this. That's why we spent 2024 working on intuition, so that you can have this conversation. The conversation gets louder, okay, the more you're aligned with your spirit guides. 4 Swords. There we go. I know, I'm like a broken record. Meditation. I think I have a couple of things I want to put out, maybe in some shorts, about different kinds of meditation. Not everybody feels good doing meditation the same. Okay, so I'll put that out in Instagram or in shorts here. Sorry. There's the Magician. You have all the aces. You have all of the possibilities. You have all of the tools. 6 of Pentacles. Ask for help when you need it. Okay? Ask for help when you need it. And I feel like that's something else your guides can help you with. Direct me or bring across my path opportunities, people who are going to help me get to my right path or get to that. invite it in, invite it in. Don't just double down on an existing situation. Say, okay, I got to do this for a while, but bring across the opportunities, bring it across my path. Help me to be awake and open to the new opportunities. Help me to see the truth. Help me to act on it. All right. Next 30 days, and ask for help when you need it, especially from your guides. Moon, full moon in Gemini coming up. 8 of Swords. How are we holding ourselves back? Lovers, you have choices. You have choices. Page of Cups. Oh, look at that. That's interesting. And the Queen of Cups. All right, here's the Queen of Cups again with that third eye open. So this is going to require, the reason the meditation is coming up. The reason the meditation is coming up is you're asking for those opportunities to come across your path. You haven't seen the truth. That's the first step about things. There's a truth in the way the world works that is not what you think it is. It's not, the world doesn't work the way you think it is. The world is not trying, the universe is not trying to crush you, nothing like that. But the opportunities are going to be small at first, little tiny things. Maybe just something that lifts your mood. Maybe just something that gets you out of yourself. Maybe just something, I talked about, a guy asked me on a date, this was a long time ago, and he was kind of, he was kind of silly and goofy. And I was always like, no, you're not my type or whatever. But then I went on one, and his sense of humor just kind of opened me up a little bit, and it opened me up to new opportunities. And that was that person's only job with me, was to kind of, show me humor again. I was in a very serious place in my life, and he showed me humor. And that was something that was really, humor is intelligence, having fun, right? Like that's what humor is. And it's very important to see that. So I feel like you got to be really mindful and really present, because the opportunities are going to be really small at first. Okay. Messages from Spirit. 8 of Pentacles, 5 of Pentacles. I got that in my own reading this morning. 3 of Cups. Woo! 10 of Swords. Page of Wands. The opportunities are small. The truths can be a little bit devastating here. Oh my God, I've given this company 7 years, 8 years of my life. And now they're just like, well, we're making some changes. Don't care, right? Very Aquarian energy there too. So this is really about making sure you have connections, very 11th house stuff. And that's the original placement of Aquarius, which is about networks and friends and connections that will be opportunities for you. What gets you jacked up? What gets you excited? What brings you joy? When I was ending my video marketing business, and I was very depleted and drained, and it was just like, oh, I can't go on with this, not one more day. I had gone to see a lawyer. This was a very serious situation. And she said, I want you to go find your joy. You've lost your joy. And that is going to show you. Did she say this, or did I dream this? Like, and this is your way back. I feel like she said it. I didn't hear her at first, but like, go find your joy. This is your way back to yourself, like to your soul. Okay. Go find your joy. You're missing that. You're missing that. And it might not take the shape that you think. Okay. That's another little message that's coming through. I could not envision how tarot, astrology, doing what I'm doing now could really have worked if I wasn't sort of open to the idea that YouTube existed, or that I was like, how does that even work? Like, how am I going to even, but I know about video and I know about other things. And I had a lot of tools that I could at my disposal that I could mess around with it. And it worked. And I was like, wow, this is incredible, because I am so excited about learning about astrology every day. I'm going to be a student of astrology until the day I die. And it's so vast that it's very interesting to keep learning stuff. And for me, that's definitely my work. And the title of this reading is about connecting the dots. So connect the dots in your own life. What are the things that you're like, I don't even know how that would work. And so I just dismiss it. Like, it's something that I've always been drawn to, but that sounds stupid, or I don't know. Like, if there is something you've always been drawn to and you're learning about your own astrology, North Node, right? North Node is our mission and purpose in this life. Then just ask for like, hey, help me connect the dots here. Help me connect the dots. What do I want to do here? For some reason, I want to show you this. Yeah, there's choices. So you get choices and bring in the resources that will help me make this turn. Maybe there's 4 or 5 steps that are going to finally get you to the place you want to be. Maybe it's not this first step. So don't get discouraged if the first little offer is kind of like, maybe it's just a lateral move out of a department. Okay, good, because that place where you were wasn't going to get you where you wanted to go. So like any little movement, I'll take it. Just keep saying yes. Just keep saying yes. Just keep saying yes. Keep saying yes to new connections, to new people, to bring in the energies that may bring in, because you could go to a new job or you could meet somebody through a party or something like that. And they're like, you know what? We were talking last week about a project and we don't have anybody for this project. And I think you'd be great for it, right? Say yes. Just keep saying yes and work on connecting the dots for yourself. And you don't have to think it. It doesn't have to be an exercise of your mind. If you're like, I just can't. Okay, guides, I need your help. I need your help to shine the light on the path. Between now and the end of December, I feel like you'll be in a very different place. At least you'll be able to kind of have this like epiphanies and see how your guides are helping you. It's really interesting to see how that works. Okay. So thank you so much for being here this morning. And I hope this message resonates for you. And I hope it's a great day. All right. Love you guys.